everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling in the zone, hopefully seeing the board well. Re-2K, Jazz 7, full health. Okay, rate of fire is fine, buoyed by the fact that we're actually starting with Pisces. Damage is good, speed is good to average. I don't know, one might be exactly average. Is it the mean? Is it the median? Caught in a landslide, just escape from reality, open your eyes, look up to the skies. Anyway, you get the idea. I'm coming into this room because we have Golden Teleporter. The rules change when you have Golden Teleporter. I just want to check this out, okay? I'm going to hit space and mash myself into the corner. You think they'll give us another full battery charge? Me neither. I tried, though. I genuinely did. Bomb for 7 cents is a deal and a half, dude. Like, maybe mathematically it's a deal and a half. Like, a deal would be a bomb for 5 cents, but a bomb for 7, is that not a deal and a half? Well, here's a little question that'll get your head spinning, like the Oracle from the original Matrix movie. If something's a deal, wouldn't a deal and a half be more expensive? Because an extra half deal, okay, you know, it doesn't really matter, is what I'm trying to say. We're here, it's a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. I have to tell you, I've had a Shania Twain or Daniel Powder-esque bad day. Not in the sense that, like, you know, I'm miserable. More in the sense that just, like, a lot of annoying things happen to me, like, all at once. Like, I had to send 2 letters with checks in them in the mail because I'm 100 years old. And I had to take my cats to the groomers. It was a real, like, Wallace and Gromit sort of situation. So while I'm taking the... And Kate was there, too. While I'm taking the cats down to, you know, put them in the car so I could drive them to the groomers. Yeah, we get our cats groomed, okay? You take them to the groomers once, you get the vacuum, like, 25% as frequently over the course of the summer. It just is what it is. Got the letters, postmarked. I got a real stamp, like a 100-year-old person would have in their home, put that on top of it. Then I put the cats in the back seat of the car. But while I'm putting the cats in the back seat, I don't have any hands. So what do? I put the letters on top of the car. Next step, put the cats in the back seat. Next step, get in the car and drive. You might be saying, NL, wait, did you forget something? Yes, I left the letters on top of the car with checks in them, you know, personal information, address, etc., etc. So I looked at Kate and I was like, I left the checks on top of the car. We drove back. Luckily, they were right outside of where we parked. Hadn't even been run over yet. This is a freaking dream come true. So that was, I mean, that's not necessarily one thing like that makes for a bad day. And in fact, it's a good thing, you know, because we got lucky that they were still there. That's a mistake, though, on the order of, like, you know, it's not like leaving your drink on top of your car. It's like leaving your driver's license on top of your car. So when you drive, you, like, lose it forever. Okay, so we have a second secret room. And if we do our due diligence here... Okay, due diligence means extinguishing these before they hurt you so badly. We can definitely take care of both of these. We'll start right here. Or should I say both of these? Yeah, that's a decent trinket. Okay. Don't walk yourself into the fire accidentally. You came pretty close, actually. And that... Okay, apparently we need the red hearts, which is a very sobering thing for me, but that's fine. And then we'll get an ERAR room. Okay, we don't need that one. Which... If we can teleport out of that, we could have enough money to... Oh, and we have a devil deal first, of course. Okay, so on the devil deal, it's tough because we don't know how many red hearts we have. We know we have at least half of a demon heart left, so I took both, but it's very, very aggressive. I'll be the first to admit. But I like both of these items. And then another battery charge. Hold up. Can I buy a spirit heart? It'd be worth... Yes, thank you. It'd be worth sacrificing our chance to get an arcade on the next floor. Okay, but this is amazing. Like, more options is very good. Our arcade chance has now returned to us. There's another Spirit Heart available over here. We got Guppy's Head, which we're just going to treat as a Guppy item because Golden Teleporter has been insane for us so far. And we're not going to use the battery charge because we've already seen everything. We don't want to leave and go back to the shop and spend our money. I think we're happy with where we are. So, dude, we're very lucky we got that because our HP was actually on the low side, no doubt. Alrighty, that was highly spotty, but look at this. Now we've got great rate of fire, piercing shots, death's touch. We're going to take the miter because Cursed Eye is, like, actually toxic. We can't see where we're going, which means it's going to be tough for us. Thank you. Oh, range upgrade. It's going to be tough for us. No. To tell we've been to all the rooms. So we might just say no, or at least, like, have mercy on this floor when it comes to using Golden Teleporter effectively, even after it was so kind to us recently. We'll see. It's a smallish floor, so we might be able to figure it out. What is this room? A monstro fight with 2 blood banks on it. Unusual. That's one way to describe it. If we get HP from this guy, though, we might be thrilled. Like a super bandage or a... I don't know, even a marrow or something like that would be positive. I'm trying to work those new booster pack items in wherever possible. We got HP. Might as well play it once. If that had been Blood Bag, I would have been over the moon. Still good, but not as good. Okay, so our deal with the devil, as you saw, Sister Maggie, not worth picking up. A Tinted Rock. Very worth... Okay, I gotta level with you. I've taken so many more hits than I should have. We should be in, like, a very dangerous place. Instead, we've gotten really lucky. We've gotten so much HP. The game's been very kind, and if I'm being honest, I'm not meeting them halfway right now. So let's just play better. No, Peeper's Eye, you've done a great thing that would normally be awesome, but in this case is bad. I want to see what this pill is. It's half of a red heart, and I got hit on the way out. Like I said, I'm going to play better. This feels like a secret room to me. Alright, fair enough. And I think about it, I don't think I've ever seen a secret room border that weird room. More money. Shop is a huge priority. We should be paying more attention to Death's List, but it's kind of like a lower priority right now. It's bad because it means we can't swap trinkets, but life goes on. Alright. We definitely want this. We definitely want a Spirit Heart. We definitely want to check this. It's a Joker, which is awesome for the next floor. Not immediately worth all that much. So I just want to make sure we've gone everywhere. This feels like a secret room, and is indeed. So that's 1 battery charge saved and a bunch of keys. We haven't been to a second secret room. We haven't been to this room. Okay, so we got plenty more to go. If we could get a deal with an error room on this floor, I would consider it my greatest accomplishment in life. It would quickly rise to the upper echelons. It would be on my CV. And you know what? Obviously, it's a joke because I don't have a resume. I mean, I have one, like, mentally, but like most people that are in my side of the industry, I'm like, you know, I'm not worried about what happens when it all goes south. I'll just move into PR. But, you know, instead for me, it's not PR. It's, I'll just move into development. Sir, it says here you were a YouTuber. That's right. I ran my own business for 8 years. Can you step out of my office, please? Security. It's my worst nightmare. My actual worst nightmare is like leaving the YouTube business and then being hired by somebody who hates my videos and they just boss me around all the time and I'm like a shadow of my former self. Hey, Eggman, come clean the toilets. And it's not that cleaning the toilets is like a non-noble job. It's just that you shouldn't call me Eggman at work. In the privacy of our own home, who knows, right? But that's right, we're married now. Me and my bully. Let's go! My greatest accomplishment ever. So, we have a tough call. You take Fate's Reward, or... No, not a tough call. You use Black Rune, and you don't care. It's a damage and speed upgrade, which is awesome. You don't care about the fact that it costs you your Joker card, because you're going to get deals with the devil on every single floor anyway, as long as you play by your own rules. Yeah, much smarter. Okay, so now we got a little bit more protection. I think we can pay attention to Death's List. Look at that. Not really looking for keys, although the doubled payout is really nice thanks to Humbling Bundle. Substantially more interested. No, it was close. Substantially more interested. No, not... No, okay, we're still in here. In, getting the stats. Hey, that's a 2 tiers upgrade? That's incredible. A Thame is also just fine. Probably should have teleported out. I'm gonna go back for the cash. Yeah, I mean, this run it's very, very good right now. Now I have the opportunity to give back after I so rudely was a piece of garbage on the first half of this one. Taking way more damage than I ever should have. This makes all of our familiars have homing shots, which I think is, in some cases, interesting, and in this case, basically, not very good at all. Unless Peeper's Eye homes, in which case I owe it to myself to try, but it doesn't appear to. If Peeper's Eye just homed in on an enemy and stayed on top of it, that would be an incredible synergy. I don't really care about Walnut. We need the speed. Now you got me thinking. Do we need it that badly? It's a double tinted rock too, isn't it? Well, it paid out, but I'm still mad. That's where I'm at in my life right now. Let's go left. Piggy bank. Could be worse. It's hard to know whether I should be happy or sad with Piggy Bank. Like, if the other item is Cursed Eye, I'm in love with Piggy Bank. If the other item was Polyphemus, well, I guess I'd rather not know then. And similarly in here. King Baby. Spending a lot of money on trash. Can someone, I ask these questions all the time. You know, I really want these videos to seem like they're a collaborative experience. You know, I'm in here making the videos, but as a result of that, you know, and a lot of people watching them, more Joker, hey. I have kind of access to more people than I ever would have in my entire life otherwise. So I can kind of get, I can use that. I can ask you like, hey, what do you think about this? Hey, what do you think about this? And I put my finger on the pulse of the generations that are surrounding me here, peers or otherwise. What an awkward way to explain that. Anyway, the point is, for all of what I just said, you might have thought that it was going to get into dramatic territory. Not so. Why do people hate Funko Pops? I'm being real with you, okay? I don't collect Funko Pops. And obviously, when I say why do people hate Funko Pops, you do need to put it in the context of them actually being insanely popular and being everywhere. But it's like one of those things I see people dunking on from time to time, and I don't know why. That's the end of that. Like, I could hypothesize one reason is because they're popular, I'm assuming. One reason is because they're, you know, instead of embracing the art style of whatever the original hero or, you know, because they have Funko Pops even for, like, YouTubers these days, right? So it's not always heroes. Sometimes it's villains. Take them both, maybe. Well, see what the first one is, maybe. That hurts. Cambion Conception. Actually horrendous. For now. But then this room brings me back every single time. So it's like, I really like, Sin City. Its dark, gritty art style is beautiful, and... Tammy's head. We're just gonna, Black Rune it. We're gonna lose the Chariot card. That's okay. We got another damage and luck upgrade. And then, you know, the gritty Frank Miller Sin City Bruce Willis just becomes a bald figurine in a trench coat with beady eyes. I could see if maybe that's the other reason. I can't think of anything else. I don't understand the Funko Pop. I don't understand the Funko Pop love either. If you're a Funko Pop collector, don't think like, you know, you got an ally on your side in Northernlion. I'm very much in the neutral camp. I don't collect them, but there have been times, you know, where I've looked at them and gone, oh, that's cute. You know, when I played a lot of Magic, they made like a Funko Pop of some of the Planeswalkers, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna buy them, but I understand. I'm not much for tchotchkes, knickknacks, paddywhacks, give a dog a bones, etc., etc. It's not for me. Kate collects some, but it's not my style. I now see the floor laid out in front of me, like Doctor Strange going through alternative futures. The way that we do this, we want to get into the error room with a charge. That way, or get a charge on the room, alternatively. That way, we can teleport out, use the 5 room to do it all over again. And I'm willing to do this, because I'm a very selfless individual with your best interests in mind. Look at that. Beautiful room. Didn't necessarily get what I was hoping to get out of it. Wanted a stat increase, but life goes on. Yeah, just walk on the spikes. Why not? I'll swear to God, like, this is a run with some of the most preventable damage I've ever taken, probably over the past, like, several weeks. We have a lot of runs in the past that are very similar to this, but this one is also down there. Just dump that card in the ether. And not much for displaying. Trinkets and baubles, Darkest Dungeon style. I don't know. I think it's a combination of a couple things. One of them is my ideal decor, and this is not a joke. Thanks for the battery charge. My ideal decor, sincerely, is like a all-white room with nothing on the walls, no paintings, no furnitures. Basically, like, you walked into the house, you'd be like, this is weird, dude. That's like my dream house. My dream house is like a bathroom, like, facility store showroom. You just walk in and it's just like, there's just 12 sinks and no art on the walls whatsoever. That's my dream decor. The other one is, I feel like most of the reason you have decorations for normal people is because you get a pleasure out of seeing them. Like, I know that's why Kate, when she collects things and displays them, she goes, it just makes me feel nice to see it. Somehow, I don't lack that emotion completely. Like, I understand the thrill of collecting. Collected Magic cards. I'm playing, you know, NHL 18 Hockey Ultimate Team because I'm a sucker, apparently. And there's an element of collecting in that that's important as well. But, you know, the reason for me that I would put art on the walls is just to appear normal. Just to trick people into thinking, like, that's a normal guy. What do you think of Ryan? Oh, he's a normal guy. He's got art on the walls. He's got his head screwed on straight. You're still alive. And I worry, well, not worry, but I think about it. Like, I was in, when I was in college, I should say, I had a Flaming Lips poster on my wall. I also had an NWA poster. I know you're trying to poke holes in the story. That was a different place. We moved a couple of times throughout college. I got rid of the Flaming Lips poster because I took it off the wall too fast and it tore in half. Well, the corner was torn, but that is 2 halves, really, at that point. Anyway, when people would come over, they'd be like, what's that? And I'd be like, it's Flaming Lips. And they'd be like, I've never heard of them. And you'd be like, yeah, that's fine. You know, it's my wall. It's not your wall. What do you care? So I didn't have a lot of friends in college, as you can tell from my aggressive demeanor. Grab this. Rotten Baby's really good here. The other thing, and that was one way that things went down occasionally. The other way that things happened, which was equally weird, was people would come over and they would know the Flaming Lips, and they'd be like, oh my god, is that the Flaming Lips? And you'd be like, yeah, and they'd want to talk about them for, like, you know, time. It's not that I don't want to talk about the Flaming Lips with you, it's more like I've already had the conversation with everybody else who's already come over, you know? It's like a guaranteed conversation piece. I'm not trying to be weird about it. I'm just saying that we don't necessarily need to go down that road. It's so weird, by the way, that we got Forget Me Now here. Oh, we can't escape. I'll tell you what, if we can't escape, I love you, Golden Teleporter. I genuinely do. But, you know, you've done an amazing job for us. We'll take Forget Me Now and then start almost having, like, a real run now. You're going to be like, why'd you get rid of it? And, you know, there's a case to be made. Keeping it for sure. But, I kind of feel like we've gotten enough out of this item. So much more than enough out of this item. Now we can kind of throw it away and get ready to go, you know? Have a more normal run. A lot of the impetus behind that is it being 18 minutes in and us being on the caves too. If you're gonna, well actually, so I don't want to bring down the party, but Cupid's arrow is useless for us. It just looked good. We already have Eye of Belial. But useless is better than destructive, which is what a couple items in the game do, even though they probably wouldn't have been relevant. Dude, free luck upgrade. That's what, you know, I don't get much out of collecting. It's the end result of that story is where we finished up there. Please, it's Goat Head. That's amazing. One of the big negatives about getting rid of Golden Teleporter was to not have guaranteed deals with the devil, so to nip that in the bud is really nice. I used to be a collector. I collected hockey cards like crazy. I say I collected them, and I did, but it was really like my parents have a great stake of ownership, considering they bought probably like 95% of them. My mom has this great story, like McDonald's, it's probably like 1994, had a promotion on it. It was like if you buy, and they still do this up here from time to time, but I think it's at Tim Hortons now. If you want to get the most Canadian sentence of all time. It was like if you buy a meal, for an extra $1, they'll throw in a pack of like 4 hockey cards. Some of them were excessively rare. So I cracked one pack, and I got a golden Patrick Waugh. Back when, you know, one of the best goalies of all time. Many people's rankings, he would be #1. He was still actively playing. Not only that, he was still actively playing for the Montreal Canadiens. And of course, I live in Canada. So it was like at the peak of his Canadian popularity, perhaps. This is my mom says, I don't remember this at all. My mom said a guy came up to us and was like, I will give you $80 for that card right now. And my parents, very wisely, said, no thank you. And the reason that it's wise is because somebody comes up to you in a fast food restaurant and offers you money for something. I think you're in the right to assume that, you know, they're probably lowballing you or something. I don't want to say suspicious, but you know what I mean. It's just, I think it's healthy to be skeptical of a situation like that. So instead what we did is we went home and we put it in a binder. I have binders of all my hockey cards. And then, you know, we waited years and years and years, and then we moved many times, and we put the binders inside of a Rubbermaid container. We moved the Rubbermaid containers around over and over, and now they're sitting in a storage locker earning me nothing, because they're worthless. Just, I don't know if this still happens. Maybe your parents are buying you Funko Pops, and you're going, well, you know, it's Funko Pops, I don't really know, but you sell them one day, maybe we can pay for Susanna's college. Sorry to tell you, I don't think that's likely to be the case. Take it from someone who probably MSRP spent like, I don't know, maybe around like $2,000 in my childhood on hockey cards. And I want to point out, $2,000 is a lot of money to spend on something like that. But I was a kid and stupid. I loved it. And mostly it was my parents buying it for me. It's also $2,000 is an estimate. You know, I was thinking like $10 a week for a few years. This seems relatively realistic. You know, it's like getting a couple of special treats throughout the week or something like that. But it's probably less. It might be like $1,000. Anyway, I don't know why I'm justifying the purchases my parents made that made me happy. Oh, I did get a Lexus on my 16th birthday. Oh, no, that's not true. Anyway. I wouldn't even buy myself a Lexus for my birthday. Couldn't afford a car, so he named his daughter Alexis. Anyway, those are all sitting in a binder. There's the way that it works is like, you know, in any given hockey card set, it might be different now. Maybe they're actually worth money and I'm coming across as ignorant because I haven't bought a Beckett's in 20 years. But the way that it worked is like 99% of the cards that you unpacked were worth nothing, and then like 1% of the cards 0.9% of the cards that you unpacked were worth the price of a pack, and then 0.1% of the cards you unpacked had any enduring value to this day. Take it all, dude. We have not been to our item room yet. Let's go do that. This is such an easy and, like, casual run. I love it right now, but I'm also like, you know, come on, let's kick it into gear. How can we be so far behind Boss Rush? Okay, it's very, very good. I mean, I know why we're so far behind Boss Rush. Yeah, why not? Dude, I gotta be honest with you. Like, you know who has it the best in the video game industry right now? I know people are like, oh, I've spent $1,500 on League of Legends. I've spent $500 on Counter-Strike Global Offensive. I've spent blah blah on Path of Exile. You know, I'm being real with you. I love the game. NHL, NBA 2K, Madden. These companies they're living the dream. Yeah, give me the bones. If you're not familiar, for a long time sports games were maligned because they had the perception of every game just being basically a roster update. I would say that that's unfair, but not all the games are created equal. You know, there's usually like one game per console generation that is like a big step forward, and then after that, the subsequent ones and the ones surrounding it, very, very missable, but if you're really into it, you're going to get them anyway, because they're you got no other option. But then, somebody had a genius idea, and it spread like wildfire. What if we have a mode where instead of playing as your favorite team, you get to build your own team from players that you get out of card packs? And maybe you can also have like an auction house going on where you can buy players for in-game gold. That's what happens now. So it's got that games as a service model, combined with essentially cracking loot boxes. But then, and here's the kicker, every year you start from zero. It's crazy. Now they gussy you up a little bit, okay? Because if you own the previous year's game, you get loyalty rewards when you buy into the next year's game. You know, they'll give you, you definitely do want this. They'll give you a few extra card packs or like a player of your choice from a given set or something like that. But still, dude, you could spend, it's one of those weird things. Like if you're really into it, I don't know. I've spent zero money on my NHL 18 Ultimate Team except for buying the game in the first place. Literally zero money. Not like, oh, I spent 20 bucks once and it's gone forever. And I have something like a 60-something% win rate and a team that is not disrespectable. You know, it started out with being all players who I haven't heard of, and I'm a hockey super fan who even sometimes follows the friggin' Swedish league. No offense, Swedes. I'm not trying to say that SHL is, I mean, it is lower talent level than the NHL. I'm not trying to say it's not worth following. I'm just saying it's out of my time zone. But, you know, you got to see how Elias Pettersson is doing. And that is how you pronounce his name. I know you've been saying Peterson if you've heard it at all. Sorry to inform you. It's not Peterson. It's also not Dahlin, it's Dahlin. Anyway, it's a very hockey-minded episode temporarily. You're just going to have to live with it. If you put $100 into your team, you're more likely to win, which means you're more likely to have fun, which means you're probably more likely to go into the next game, and that's where they get you. Because, you know, you got to get back to where you were at 2 weeks before the release of the new game, you got to put $100 in again. Dude, honestly, I don't think Dogtooth is that good. Much rather have the wafer. I'll be the first, okay? I'll be the levy that breaks for Dogtooth. I don't think that item is as good. You know, it says damage upgrade on the tin. You read the nutritional information on the back, it's like may contain BS. Sure. We have like every item in the game. So those are the companies. And I mean, I guess I am a part of the problem. Even though I haven't put any money to open any loot boxes. Because in 19, 100% I'm gonna. And the reason is because I enjoy it. But they're getting off easy, dude. Battlefront got raked over the coals. Put Darth Vader behind real-world loot boxes or 100 hours of play. NHL's the same, but it's like, hey, you can't use your Darth Vader anymore. We're taking the servers offline. I don't know when the servers go offline. They might not go offline ever. It might just pilfer the player base. I don't know. So we could probably afford these, but I don't need to. Okay. That's my 2 cents on the issue. I mean, if we're talking video games, it's a big week for video game news, dude. No Man's Sky came out. And, dude, that was the least deserved Death's List reward of all time, but I'll take it. No Man's Sky's new update came out. It added online multiplayer into the game, which is a huge issue because, you know, when the game first came out, the developer had suggested, I guess not falsely, that the odds of you seeing another player in No Man's Sky are astronomically low. And it turns out you couldn't do it at all. So was he willfully being misleading? I'll leave that up to you. But either way, yeah, we'll take it. They added the ability to play. If you didn't see it on Tuesday, me, Dan, Malf, and Austin played some. I would say that my experience with the game was not perfect, but it seems like people are really enjoying it. That's a cool story. You gotta love a redemption arc, you know? That's what, it's like a stipulation I have about the gaming industry. You know, when somebody screws up, and I would say that Hello Games screwed up, you know, even though the game was probably a pretty enormous success for them anyway. You know, I'm sure that they would do things differently if they could go back in time. But to screw things up, you know you're gonna get raked over the coals. To come back and actually, you know, work hard, free update that fixes one of the major issues that people had with it in the first place, you gotta give them a chance for that redemption arc, you know? You gotta give, if you make a mistake, you gotta give them a chance to make good on it. Plus, the game was half price. I mean, it's all marketing as well, I get it. The game was half price when the next update came out for free, which I thought was probably a great way to get coverage and sell $1 trillion worth of units, but also kind of a nice gesture, you know? Especially considering the word of mouth is a lot better now. People probably would have bought it at full price just to check it out. I like redemption stories in games. That's what, I'm going to give you another one. And this is a little bit more contentious, which is surprising because No Man's Sky has been contentious in its own right. I don't really want Liberty Cap. We're in a position in our build right now, we don't have to take on anything that could have negative results ever. Instead, we'll take exclusively positives. Mostly also, I don't want to go back and walk on the spikes because we could make a hush fight happen. Thinking. Like, if those were red chests, I'd be all over them. Please pop up. Xavian. They made the Culling. Lichdom Battle Mage, the Culling 2. Culling 2, don't even need to talk about it. I feel self-conscious about how much we've been crapping on this game, even though I will still stand by it, deserving it. Just a horrible product. What did they do in response? Hey, we're bringing back the Culling 1, which everyone preferred, making it free to play. Got into the test server for that this week. That game is janky, but still a lot of fun. I hope it works out for them. I no longer want to see the company implode. I want to see them turn the Culling into the best melee battle royale out there. And make for the greatest redemption story you could ever imagine. Yes? Everything else, not yet. Okay, this is my bad. I thought once the hush door was open, it stayed open. With 11 luck, then, I will go for that. Absolutely. You know what? I'm going to take this, too, because if we die, we come back as Dark Judas. But I don't think we're going to die. A lot of redemption stories in games. You know who's ripe for a redemption story? Cliffy B. Now, I have said some not-so-nice things, not about Cliffy B, but about his Bosky Studios game, Radical Heights. I thought it was a fast-followed, cheap cash-in battle royale that was basically a... You can't hate on the guy for making a last-ditch effort to save his company and himself. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying that. Some people liked it. That's the nicest thing I can say. I played it and watched more than I should have, and because Corey liked it, and I watch him now and then, every night, and you know, he liked the game. We respectfully disagree, and have chosen never to speak about it ever again. But I don't wish the man himself ill will. I'm interested to see what happens next. Everybody loves a redemption arc, right? The only thing people like more than a redemption arc is watching like a terrible person fail. But if you could get the redemption arc, I'd rather have that personally, because I'm a nice guy. Apparently not. Okay. I think we're 2 guppy items away, so I don't... but you know what? I'm going to spend a Spirit Heart because we have the wafer. So why not? Alright, well that's one good reason. It's almost a little bit insulting to say, like, this person needs a redemption arc. So I'm not trying to, again, talk down to anybody. I'm just saying, you know, he's primed for it. That's probably even more insult. Look, I'm trying to get myself out of the hole, Mr. Blazinski. I'm just saying. Looking forward to seeing what you do next. I understand times are tough. We don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, including hairstyles, but more power to you, dude. And I don't say that Radical Heights is bad just to be like DAE. I don't like battle royales. It's more like I'm just cynical about its existence, but I understand why it was done. Anyway, this is getting into weird territory. Where do we go? Dark Bomb? Thank you. I gotta be honest, we're rolling a little too deep here. The posse is too large. Anyway, we were talking about No Man's Sky. If you're asking me about No Man's Sky, I can tell you fully, you know, while we were playing it. I hit a point pretty quickly, and this is not going to surprise you if you watch the stream, but, you know, within the first hour, I was like, this isn't really for me. And that's fine. I'm not trying to besmirch the name of Hello Games. It's not like a big shot sort of thing, but I actually, I've been in contact with Hello Games forever. I covered Joe Danger 1, which was the game that they made on Xbox Live Arcade. And then I emailed them like 2 years later and was like, hey, I see you guys are making a Joe Danger 2. I did a video on Joe Danger 1. Maybe you would send me a review key for Joe Danger 2. And I believe it was Sean Murphster himself replied and was like, here's a key for Joe Danger 2. And then I played it, and I was like, I don't get it. It's like Trials, but different. No stars. And it wasn't really like that, but, you know, I've never been the biggest fan of Joe Danger. Basically, I'm just negative, apparently, is what I'm learning here. But it was like, it's fine if you're into that sort of thing. And then, wouldn't you know it, 4 or 5 years later, Hello Games is making a game. And this is why I was always, you know, if I can do some revisionist history, why I was always a little bit skeptical, or a lot bit skeptical of No Man's Sky, was, you know, they're like, hey, we're making a game where every atom is procedurally generated. And I was like, didn't you just make a game about a guy on a motorcycle? He drives through like 2.5D worlds? It just seems like that's a huge step. I'm pleased and impressed, even though the game's not for me. I'm impressed with what they've done in the new update, but yeah, it was like, you know, I just took a class on Node.js, and what I'm gonna do next is write my own version of JavaScript, you know? It's like kind of it's a big step up. Okay, well, this is hilarious. Let's do it with soy milk, even though I think that it's doubtlessly a terrible... No, I saw Mom's knife and then immediately was like, don't pick it up while I was picking it up. 'Cause he's a smart guy. And now that basically ruins the mulligan, too. Yeah, I mean, that... We're not going to lose. Which is Nice, but, just a little joke about French cities. Classic little bon mot. Let me out. We're not gonna lose, but this was very dumb. Highly stupid. I'm actually gonna use my knife like an orbital. Because if we ever tap even just to change directions, it shoots off like 100 yards. Which is definitely the unit of measurement used in Isaac, don't question it. Myself and Edmund speak every day. We engage in daily stand-up meetings with one another. I've asked him this question many times. I actually, I'm so sorry for the synergy I just ruined, because now I'm just using Sack Dagger. Yeah, that's how you use Book of the Dead. My concentration is starting to lapse because it's been not a long run, but a lot of mental energy was dedicated to this run. Between the golden teleporter and the... well, that's about it. But anyway. Pop this. Not that. Fast bombs. You know, we could buck the trend. Fast bombs is the item in my playthrough that most correlates with a loss. How strange is that? Not sure if there's any causality associated there, but hey, you know, the only way to improve your weaknesses is to face them head on. And that's what we're doing. Apply directly to forehead. Alright, get creams. Simple. Take me out of here. I think they should remove this curse from the game, or at the very least, remove it for me, okay? I'm a very important person. I have lots of strong opinions on video game personalities like Clifford B. and Brendan Green, the unknown player. And I'm just saying, you don't want to get down on my bad side. I got all sorts of influence in this industry. Dozens of people watch my content on a daily basis. I have a handful of subscribers on Twitch.tv, and I'm just gonna say it, my mom may or may not follow my Twitter account, so that's a lot of influence. Does my mom follow your Twitter account? Whoever you are in this analogy? Probably not. Well, you know, it depends who's watching. Are you Neil deGrasse Tyson? In that case, she probably does, but you're probably not Neil deGrasse Tyson. Actually, I probably am. Yeah, I get it. Neil. That is your real name. If that is your Neil name, can't use that joke on too many people. This is cruel. The fact that we can't see where we're going and this is a dead end is very saddening. I just don't... I don't know where to go. To the right? To the right. Alright. I actually would prefer if you hit me. Between the wafer, permanent Polaroid invincibility, and dark bomb, I think we're at our best when we're taking damage. It's like the inverse of every other run we've ever done. Except for like the 1% of them in which we deliberately take damage all the time. Scatter bombs. This might make our bombs worth using. Basically for that reason. That's pretty cool. You know what's not cool, by the way? What? Okay, that's amazing and has saved us from Mom's knife being boring as heck. What's not amazing is we hit yet another dead end. Dude, Hemolacria has saved us. I'm so happy. What a cool run. We brought it back. From uncool run to cool run. That being said, this cool run's about to evaporate, but I like it. You know, it's a good run. It's given me a lot of momentum early on today, which is important because I am, you know, it's a little bit of an Isaac-heavy day, so to speak, because it is a day that ends with Y. It's nice to get started off on the right foot, even if I can't parse what kind of foot this is in the first place. Dude, it's a pretty nice damage upgrade from money equals power, despite having soy milk. Fair enough. I'm not fighting the void. I'll see you in heck. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click the like button. Helps a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time.